Welcome back, LEGO Builders. Gigahertz Productions here, and today I'm coming at you with a slightly different LEGO video than usual. So normally I would be working on Mumbo's base, but I did not quite have enough parts, so I put in another Bricklink order, and while we're waiting for that order, I decided to come up with a little challenge. And you probably already read the title, but I'm going to build a little MOC only using 1x2 LEGO bricks. So I recently got a whole bunch of 2x1 bricks, so I decided to put them to use and hopefully make a MOC. So with this challenge, obviously I can only use 2x1s, but that includes 2x1 bricks, and if I reach over here, 2x1s with these bars or whatever on the edges, so these are also 2x1s. So basically anything that I would classify as a 2x1 I can build with. But just to make things a little bit easier on myself, I am going to be using one base plate as like the base of it, so then I don't have to build my own base plate using a whole bunch of 2x1s. So I know it's a little bit cheating, but it's just to save me a little bit of time. So I'll be using one base plate, and then all the rest of the pieces should be 2x1s. So I guess let's jump into the time lapse. So, my initial plan for this MOC was to kind of have a cabin in like a mountain rangey area. So kind of like up in the Alpines. So I started things off with doing a little bit of snot around the outside just to kind of round off the MOC, because that's always a good way to do it. And then as you'll see later, I fill up the MOC with 2x1 bricks and then like start doing some terraining, and then I start building up the walls of the cabin and the roof, etc, etc. So this build took about 2 hours to make, and what I'm building isn't really based off of anything. Like, I suppose when I was building it up, it kind of looked like Octu Island, like from Star Wars, or maybe even some like hut in the mountain, like from Lord of the Rings or something. That's kind of what I think of when I see this MOC. But comment your thoughts down below, and I guess just enjoy some time-lapse music. So here is the finished product after 2 hours of building. So obviously we have like our little alpine terrain with the cabin. Uh-oh, the guy just fell out of the back. So I guess we'll take a look at the interior. So this guy, I know technically the minifigure does not use 2x1s, but I'm like, I'll just make an exception for that because it's a minifigure, and the minifigure could easily be removed. But in the inside of the cabin, there is just like a little orange rug at the entrance there, this little guy in his chair, and then this little, I don't know, like shelf or maybe like a wood holder or something. Then there's like a little button panel or maybe a painting up on the side there, so that's basically it for the interior. I would have liked to do more with the interior, but again, I was only using 2x1s, and also I was a little short on time. So yeah, there's a look at the inside of the cabin. Oh yeah, and the door does open and close. It's just a little bit difficult to get at. So here, if I can open it a little bit there. See, there we go. There it is open, and it does close all the way. It's just a little bit finicky, and I have to usually lift up the cabin like this. And if I can get it closed, there we go. And then smack it back down, and there we go. There's the door closed. So that's basically all the features with this MOC. Again, it's very, very simple. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to this MOC. Oh, and at the end of the time lapse, you saw me like do some snow and maybe a little bit of this mossy stuff because I wanted to help sell that it was like way up in the mountains where there like aren't any trees or above the tree line. So obviously I represent that with snow because there's usually snow up higher, and also there's usually like some moss and maybe like little shrubs. So I think these like green parts really help with like that shrub idea, and then the snow is like a really nice addition to the MOC, and also it helps break up that really gray terrain that I had before. Oh, there goes the guy again. I'll just move him over here. And I think one of my favorite parts about this MOC is actually the roof. It does remove, like, kind of well. But I love using, like, the sweeping back kind of, like, texture, or, like, I'm not really sure what it's called. But see, because since they're all 2x1s right next to each other, you can just tip them a little bit and then they all go off to the side. So that's looking pretty cool, and I love how that turned out. So this was my take on a MOC that I only built out of 2x1s, except for obviously the base plate down below. But I just disclude that because I could make like a base plate out of 2x1s, but that would take like a lot of extra time and parts, so I just decided to do that base plate. So everything else except for that base plate is 2x1. So there's like 2x1 grills, 2x1 plates, 2x1 bricks, these 2x1 like slopes, and these 2x1s with like the clips and like these bar things at the end. So yeah, everything in this MOC is made out of 2x1s. And by building out of 2x1s, it makes you realize how important 1x1s are. See, there's like a couple of gaps throughout the MOC because I just could not like fill them in using 2x1s. So yeah, 1x1s are a very, very, very useful piece. So, if you did enjoy, leave a like. If you'd like me to do more of these LEGO challenges in the future, leave a comment. And with that said, Gigahertz Productions, out.